And here's the one you got to listen to also. I'm not all convinced that this earthquake will take place here in California. And he's going on about, I believe there will be many more severe earthquakes. They'll even be more severe than the old San Francisco earthquake. And he says, there's not a slightest doubt in my mind about this forthcoming massive earthquake is on our continent. I'm not at all convinced that this earthquake will take place in California. In fact, I mean, he's talking about the California, but he's talking about another big one.
Right.
And he says, I believe it's going to take place where it is least expected. This terrible earthquake may happen in an area that's not known as an earthquake belt. It will be so high on the Richter scale that it will trigger 2 other major earthquakes. If we mess, and this is what my dear friend saw, we mess with Israel, God's going to split our country.
Yes.
You're talking about the book Eye to Eye by William Koenig?
Yeah.
Yes.
And our dear brother who prophesied that, saw it in a vision, in dreams.
Oh, okay, he's talking about the New Madrid fault. And
John Kilpatrick is the one who believes he saw the New Madrid
fault.
fault.
Yes.
And the river, Mississippi River went backwards.
Yes. Yes. He was.
This terrible earthquake may happen in an area that's not known as an earthquake belt.
Wow.
As he said, it's so high on the Richter scale that it will trigger 2 other major earthquakes. And then that next one, what do you think about that next sentence?
Aleutian Islands.
The Aleutian Islands?
There's got to be something behind
that's how you say it,
he
isn't
threw
it?
that in. And so I went on the internet and looked at what that meant. Well, there's 2 tectonic plates in this island. There's 40. It's a home for 41 volcanoes.
There's 41 volcanoes on this island.
So if this earthquake that he's predicting, 2 earthquakes hit this island, that means that it's going to trigger 41 volcanoes.
Is that up near Alaska?
Yes.
This Aleutian Islands, which will result in a number of smaller earthquakes and aftershocks all along the west coast of the United States. So when you see this go, we could see this whole string go.
Well, what you're going to see is you might be able to see volcanic activity going on. 41 volcanoes live in that area that can go crazy. But there's 2 mega volcanoes that are active right now that if one, and I started reading, if it shakes hard enough, these volcanoes can start catching that whole island on fire, but can trigger more volcanoes around the ring of fire.
Oh.
Again, it's huge.
Yeah,
it may not seem as big, but when you read it all together.
But the next sentence is what's so big. This thing just gets, he saw in the vision the details. That's the thing. But he goes on. Concern about earthquakes will become uppermost in forthcoming years. It'll be in the news. News about government scandals. This is how bad it's going to be. News about government scandals, news about war, and even economic problems will be completely overshadowed by earthquakes. That is serious. Within minutes after this quake hits, the whole country will know it, and millions will be stunned and shocked. Thousands will be affected with much loss of life and millions of dollars worth of damage. Minor earthquakes, aftershocks, and tremors will be recorded almost daily throughout the world. Earthquakes will become the #1 cause of fear and consternation. The earth is actually going to shake, and there will be numerous other earthquakes in various places throughout the world. This is one kind of judgment that cannot be explained by the scientists. It is supernatural invention into the affairs of men. It is an act of God causing havoc and judgment. God calling men to repentance and reverence. It can strike at any time, and there is no way to deter it. Men will just have to stand back in awe and terror as the power of God is demonstrated in the earthquakes.
My gosh. Man.
Famine is coming to the world in our generation, and millions will die of starvation. And that's so clear. The 4 horses of the apocalypse, one of them basically is about 1/4, I think, of the world will die of starvation. Catastrophic years lie just ahead with drought, floods, other weather disasters, wiping out great amounts of the world's food population, what we were just talking about. Were you told when you were in Florida that a lot of the trees,
Yeah, a lot of the citric,
orange trees and all,
they're all on.
are damaged?
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, you got an agricultural area that it got flooded by water, so all those crops that were sown there to be able to reap in the wintertime is no longer available.
Toxic
and
water.
again, you're dealing with toxic water. You're dealing with, I mean, some of the worst devastation in that area in a long time.
The world in our generation will face the frightening prospect of world population growing faster than the food supply. We are already too far back to catch up. The world has faced famine and drought before, but there's a difference this time. In years past, the world recovered with good harvest that came in. Now we cannot recover. We have already had too many bad years, and the worst is yet to come. The situation will only worsen. Because of overpopulation, we'll never catch up. This is without doubt the last day world famine predicted by God's holy word in the book of Joel.
My goodness.
The beginning of sorrows, and that's where we are. We are in the beginning of sorrows. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, and hailstorms will occur more frequently. More than 1/3 of the United States will be designated a disaster area within the next few years. Well, we're getting close to that. I mean, we're working towards that, aren't we?
Yes.
Men will be talking about nature being out of control. Strange happenings in nature will baffle scientists. Earth eruptions, blood and moon haze, strange signs in the heavens such as cosmic storms. These and other events never before seen will cause many to be wondering. The haze hanging in the cosmos will turn the moon red and will cause periods of darkness over the earth, almost as though the sun refuses to shine. He said, nature, next headline, nature will go wild. Nature will go wild. Nature will unleash its fury with increasing intensity over the next decade. There will be short periods of relief, but almost every day mankind will witness the wrath of nature somewhere in the world. The record-breaking changes will be above and beyond anything experienced in the past. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes will destroy crops, animals, and much wildlife, driving prices even higher and causing some experts to suggest that nature is losing its balance. Weather will become increasingly difficult to forecast. Sudden storms will appear without warning. Southernmost regions will be gripped by record cold waves, and northern areas will experience record heat waves. These violent reactions of nature will clearly be orchestrated by God to warn mankind. His anger is kindled towards stubborn and sinful men. He'll use his judgment to reveal his power in warning mankind to flee from his wrath.